Hey guys, and welcome back to Franchise Nation. I'm your host, Moonlightswami, and today, like I said in the last episode, I messed up. I accidentally advanced the week to go to week 1 of the postseason, and because of that, the scouting report page is gone for the foreseeable future. Obviously, it will be back, but as of right now, it is not. So the last positional group that we're going to look at is running backs, running back, halfback, fullback, whatever you want to call them. And we have quite a bit. We have 25 players, 4 fullbacks, 21 running backs. So let's jump right into it. Starting things off, we have in the early first round, Shakir Clark out of Oklahoma, 6'1", 207 at 21 years old. He's a balanced runner, B+ carrying, B+ ball carrier vision, and B elusiveness. The fact that he's 21 years old is terrifying for him to enter the league. He is a projected early first. He has all of the makings of being an absolute star in this league. Next up, we have Jaden Fluker, another early first rounder out of Wisconsin. He's a big running back, 6'3", 227 at 24 years old. He is a true blue power back. A- stiff arm, B+ trucking, B+ carrying at 24 years old. He is going to be a force that most people won't want to reckon with at the next level. He was dominant in college as well. On to Matt Peyton out of Eastern Carolina, 6 foot, 227, another power back. A- stiff arm, B+ trucking, B carrying. The carrying's a little bit low for a power back. He's a projected early second rounder. He's going to be a good player, but I don't know if he's worth a second round pick. I mean, he might be worth like a third, maybe a fourth, but second round might be a little bit steep for him. Up next, we have Lindsey Merritt out of Ohio State, 6'1", 210 at 24 years old. A balanced runner. He's not that good, though. He's one of the guys that definitely is going to drop in terms of our board. C+ ball carrier vision, C+ spin, and C carrying. Next up, we have Bronson Sherrills out of Arkansas. Sherrills, a projected mid-third rounder, has led the Arkansas Razorbacks to, 3 bowl game appearances. He's run for over 200 yards 4 times this season as a power back, which is really impressive. He just bowls over defenders like they're not even there, and he just accumulates yards at such a high clip that for him to be even considered the 5th best running back in this class is a little bit insulting. He's a very talented player who should have a lasting impression in the NFL. 5'11", 230, ideal height, weight, he's 22 years old, 2 great ball carrier moves to him. I think him being a mid-third rounder is a steal. With the 6th player, we have Calvin Hill, a projected mid-third rounder out of Oregon. 5'11", 214 at 22 years old. He's a balanced runner, B- ball carrier vision, C+ spin, C carrying. An average player in that mid-round tier. Next up is Lester Jacoby out of Clemson, 22 years old, balanced, B- spin, C+ ball carrier vision, C+ juke. 2 quality ball carrier moves is always good to have, but both of them are elusiveness based in a sense, so he really needs to be someone who can get into the open field, use his agility to his advantage. Next up, we have Shannon Hayward out of Louisville, 6'1", 212, 23 years old, balanced, B- spin, B- juke, but B- ball carrier vision, but that C juke really hurts. That means that he's going to have a lot of traits that are not ideal. Next up, we have a late third rounder, Will Weathersby out of Utah, 6'1", 218 at 21 years old. He's a one-cut back, B+ juke, B ball carrier vision, C+ carrying. The B ball carrier vision at 21 years old is definitely reassuring. That's definitely one of those things that develops over time, so for him to have it already is great. Next up, we have DJ McGinnis out of Michigan State, 6 foot, 223 at 22 years old, balanced, C+ ball carrier vision, C+ spin, C carrying. Next up, we have Dwayne Cleveland out of Buffalo. Now, if you want to talk about a player that has to carry a huge workload, Dwayne Cleveland is your man. In Buffalo, they don't really have a good quarterback or good wide receivers or even a good tight end. So it's really Dwayne Cleveland working off of the read option, making plays at running back. He's so dynamic. one of the fastest players in this draft period. He should run a 4.35 or so, maybe even a little bit lower. But he's a speed back who jukes with perfection. He's elusive. His ability to hold on to the football is probably his only big drawback. He has had fumbleitis at times, but he's always making plays, and when you have as many carries as he does, he's bound to fumble the ball at least a little bit, when you have 300 carries in a season. He's a guy who could run the ball 30 to 40 times a game, and you really wouldn't be surprised. It's just the way that Buffalo offense runs. But he stays dynamic, he has great drive, he has a lot of stamina to him to be able to keep up his speed and his elusiveness with all of that workload. Special player, very good mid-round selection. In the late 4th round, it's Arian Mickens. Mickens? Yeah, Mickens. New Mexico State, 5'10", 212, 21 years old, another one cut back. B- ball carrier vision, B- juke, C+ carrying. The C+ carrying is only a little bit of a knock. If he's a good player in terms of his combine stats, he'll be a good player overall. Just the carrying, you want it to be a little bit higher. Next up, we have a pair of power backs, Samuel Tucker and Antoine Casper out of Kentucky, and that's a typo. It should be University of Memphis instead of Lambeth. 6'1" and 5'11", both of them power backs. A- stiff arm, B+ trucking for both, B carrying for Tucker, B- carrying for Casper, who's projected as an early 5th with mid-4th round potential. Next up is Devontae McCullers out of Tennessee, 6 foot 219 at 21 years old. Another one cut, B juke, B ball carrier vision, C trucking. A lot of really young running backs in this class, a lot of young potential. Next up is Lorenzo DeMar, 5th rounder out of UL Monroe, 5'11", 22 years old, power back. Good stiff arm, good trucking, alright carrying. Needs to be someone who holds onto the ball pretty well if you're going to be a power back though. With the 17th player, we have Javon Holloway, Penn State running back, 6'1", 221, 21 years old, B- ball carrier vision, C+ spin, but C carrying is a huge knock. The 18th player is another speed back, Jaron Simonette out of Boise State, 6'1", 205 as a speed back, B carrying, B- spin, B- juke. That's a good player right there. That could be a steal in the late rounds. At number 19, we have Mike Cobbs out of BYU, 6 foot, 238, another power back. A stiff arm, B+ trucking, B ball carrier vision, best stiff arm in the class. We don't know anything about his carrying, which is a little bit concerning, but he could be another really good player late. Next up is Sheldon Shelton out of USC, 5'11", 216, an alright player. And lastly is Antoine Whiting out of New Mexico State, 6 foot, 205 at 23 years old, a speed back, B juke, B- ball carrier vision, and C+ elusiveness. Now we're going to go to the fullbacks. We start things off with the mid-4th rounder, Eldrin Locke out of Texas A&M. He's 6 foot, 244 at 21 years old, and we have a story to tell about Eldrin Locke, the former halfback. The biggest knock on Eldrin Locke is that he is not fast. He is a guy who played running back for Texas A&M for, 2 seasons. He's only 21 years old. But he just doesn't profile as a pure running back. His speed, it's definitely not breakaway. And his size, he profiles perfectly as a fullback. He has good hands, he can accelerate, he can make plays, he runs over defenders, one of the strongest players in this draft at the running back position or at the back position. He's going to be a really useful player. He profiles a lot like Kyle Juszczyk for the Baltimore Ravens, a very talented player that you can use as a runner or a receiver, and he can hold his own blocking as well. Definitely someone that could be a good mid-round selection. In the mid-5th round, we have Chase Esponda, another runner-receiver, B- stiff arm, B- carrying, C trucking. Next up, it's Sheldon Lauderdale out of Notre Dame, 6 foot 245, B carrying, B- stiff arm, C+ trucking. And lastly, Terrell Woodard out of UCLA. He's 24 years old, he's a blocker, C+ stiff arm, C run block, C trucking. So we have 3 pretty good receiving, running tight fullbacks, and then 1 really good blocker. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to check the description below for the full big board. I will be working on that Hopefully we can get a mock draft going soon before the end of the postseason, and then we're going to get one more after the combine information comes out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm Moonlightswami, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Peace out, Franchise Nation.